Ciao everyone, I'm Rossella and welcome back to Cooking with Nonna. Now, I know Nonna's not here today, but it's only so I can make her a very special treat just in time for International Women's Day on March 8th. For those of you that don't know, International Women's Day is a holiday celebrated mostly in Europe and I think in Canada as well. And it's just a day to celebrate women, and in Italy we call it Festa della Donna. Now, on Festa della Donna, you make a very special cake for your mom or your girlfriend or your wife called a Mimosa Cake, which I made last year in a different episode, so we will link that below. And a Mimosa Cake is a beautiful sponge cake. Sometimes it's brushed with a liquor or something, and then it is layered with cream and fruits. So I am going to make Mimosa Cupcakes in this episode because sometimes, making the Mimosa Cake is a little bit intense. It's definitely a labor of love, especially to make the nice domed one the way I made it in the episode. So a lot of people were actually asking me to make the Mimosa Cupcakes because it's a little bit quicker, but it's just as much flavor. So to make the Mimosa Cupcakes with strawberry and cream filling, we are going to use some 00 or all-purpose flour, some baking powder, some salt, unsalted butter, granulated sugar, vanilla, lemon zest, and eggs and whole milk. Now to make the filling, I have some of my easy custard cream. Now I did an episode on how to make the easy custard cream, and I'll link that also below, and you could just watch that video. It's super easy. Just some whipped cream, whipped to very stiff peaks, and I have some chopped strawberries. And I'm going to show you how we use the inside of the cupcake to decorate the top too, to make a nice topping that is going to mimic mimosa flowers, because that's what the whole thing is about, the beautiful mimosa flowers. So we're going to get started right with the cupcakes. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your all-purpose flour or 00, whatever you want, and you can start whisking together your dry ingredients. So in goes the baking powder and the salt. Okay, so little whisk and whisk these together. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. And now we're going to come over here to our stand mixer, fit it with the paddle attachment. And in here we're going to put the softened butter, the granulated sugar, the vanilla extract. You can use the vanilla bean pod. That's always really delicious. It's a little bit more of a special flavor. And the lemon zest. And we're going to turn the mixer on to medium and let this go until it's nice and fluffy for about 5 minutes. Okay, so now that's nice and fluffy, I'm going to start adding in my eggs one at a time. Now again, for the exact recipe and the full list of ingredients, please head to cookingwithnonna.com. We have a link below. You want to add your eggs one at a time. Make sure they're fully absorbed before you add the next one. I'm going to make this a little bit faster. Also, everything should be room temperature. Go. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl down just to make sure everything is all up in there. Okay, now we're ready to start adding in our dry ingredients and alternate that with the milk. Now, however you do this, you want to make sure that you always end with the dry ingredients. So I like to use a spoon and just do it a little bit at a time and keep the mixer on low. And you keep the mixer on low because you don't want to over mix anything. That's going to make the cupcakes tough. A little bit of the milk. Okay, now our batter is all done. I'm just going to scrape whatever I can off the paddle. Now, if you guys notice, when I did the large version of the mimosa cake, I made a different kind of cake as my base. I made a traditional pan di Spagna. Some people call it a genoise, and some people call it just a basic sponge cake. And that really is the classic kind of cake that you would use to make a mimosa. But here's the thing. Like, when you bite into that, if it's a small cake like a cupcake, it's kind of, it's very spongy because it's a sponge cake. So it has a little bit too much pull to it. You can't really bite down nicely the way you can with a butter-based cake. So I decided to make an executive decision and make a lemony vanilla butter-based cake, which I think works really, really well in this cupcake. So now I'm going to take my cupcake pan and my handy dandy ice cream scoop. Scoop it into each one. This is great because they all come out the same size. Love that. Okay, so now that these are all filled, they're going to go into a 350-degree oven for 23 to 25, 6 minutes. You'll know that they're done when they're nice and springy on the top. They shouldn't be soft or anything. And if you want to take one and check the bottom will be like a little bit golden brown. So I'm going to bake these and we'll come back and decorate and fill them. Now that our cupcakes are all baked and cooled, I'm going to start by hollowing them out. And just with a serrated edge knife, I'm going to go inside and kind of try and take out like a point, just dead the center. Because we're going to fill that up with delicious cream. I'm going to get my bowl over here. And for now, just put all the centers inside the bowl. And I'm going to do this to all the cupcakes. You can use a cupcake corer for this. I know they have those special handy dandy tools now. But you really just need a knife. Okay. Now that all of our cupcakes are nice and hollowed out, I'm just going to move these right over. And I'm going to take the cores of the cupcakes, and I'm just going to break them up into little crumbs with my hands. You want them to be nice, fine little crumbs, and this is going to go on top of the whipped cream icing that we're going to do. And you can do this two different ways. You can either crumble it like this, or when I did the other mimosa cake, I cut an entire sponge cake into little cubes. I cut away all the crust and I cut it into little cubes. So in Italy, they do it both ways. Some people do crumbs, some people do cubes, but it doesn't really matter. You just want to get that effect of those little yellow mimosa flowers on top. So just with your hands, crumble, crumble, crumble. So I'm just going to set this aside. And now we're going to move on to our filling, which is my favorite part. So I just have my custard cream right here. And I am going to lighten up my custard cream with some whipped cream. Now I whipped this to nice stiff peaks so it's nice and firm. And I love doing this. My mom always used to do this in desserts when I was little. This is just a very basic Italian cream. I'm just going to fold this in. You're going to watch the custard get nice and light. Okay, so you just want to fold it in until it's fully incorporated, and you can even go lighter than this. And by lighter, I mean more whipped cream, so more of a whipped cream to pastry cream custard ratio. Totally fine, up to you. I like it like this. I think it's a nice color and texture. So I'm gonna just move this out of the way. And I'm gonna take my diced strawberries. I dice these up nice and small so they all can fit into the cream, and when you bite into the cupcake, you get enough strawberry in here. I'm just gonna add these and fold these in. Some people use pineapple, peaches, any kind of fruit that you can dice up. Even blueberry would be delicious, but my Nonna loves strawberries, and I just think that a strawberries and cream combination is beautiful and classic. So that's what I'm using today, no worries. Okay, so you want it to be nice and heavy on the strawberries. The reason being is that we're going to put a nice dollop of fresh whipped cream on top. So when you bite into this cupcake, I don't want you to just taste cream. I want you to taste strawberry and then the cream on top. So I want you to really taste the flavor. And that looks beautiful. Okay, so we're almost there. I'm going to bring my cupcakes back here. And now we're going to start filling each of the cupcakes. And you could do this with a spoon, you could do it with a pastry bag if that's your thing. Just whatever you do, make sure that you fill it to the top and then you smooth it either with the spoon or with the spatula. Whatever it is, just make sure it's nice and flush with the top of the cupcake. There's nothing sticking out. And don't worry about that because we'll just cover all that with our whipped cream topping. Okay, so all of our cupcakes are filled and we're ready to frost them. So I just have some whipped cream in a pastry bag with a star tip, and you don't even have to do this. You could just dollop it with a spoon, but if you want to make it look a little bit extra pretty, it's up to you. So you're going to start in the middle and pipe a little swirl and just make sure that you cover up where we put the strawberry cream. And now I'm just going to I'm going to move these right here, and I am going to take each of them and I'm going to sprinkle some of the crumbs right on top of the whipped cream. And this doesn't have to be perfect, just however much you are comfortable with. But I think it does look very, very cute. And how adorable do these look? I think anybody would be thrilled to have these for any day, but especially for International Women's Day. These are the official Mimosa Cupcakes of Cooking with Nonna. And I cannot wait to taste one because I worked hard on these, so I'm gonna have to eat one, like right now. Doo-doo-doo. Oh my god. These are so good. I'm fully aware that I have whipped cream on my nose, but I don't care because these are delicious. You really taste the strawberry. It's like a flavor of strawberries and cream, and I know all your mamas, your nonnas, your wives, your girls, they're all going to love this, and I know my nonna Romana is going to love these too. So thanks for watching how to make my beautiful strawberry mimosa cupcakes, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao.